When we come with that heat, we got skip on the.
He trains out of Arizona, so you're not gonna show a little favoritism.
Yeah, because you're from Arizona, right?
Yeah, because I'm from Arizona, dude. You know that?
This is just one of those where I'm gonna sit back, put my feet up, grab the popcorn, and hope it goes over 1.5 rounds.
Actually, let's start it off with something fun, dude. I've been dabbling.
You talking about that Allen Iverson play, bro?
Patchy Mixes used to be in control. He wasn't this time.
Yeah,
Who called it?
He looked off, but welcome back in $1 Million Extras. UFC 317. We've got International Fight Week this weekend, Kyle. Very exciting time, huh?
This is a good one. This is a fun one. Morale's kind of low, dude. We left off on a low note.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention that, but
we don't have to.
No, I mean, I feel like if we don't, then we're cowards. Some may call us cowards. Yeah, we did not have a good. I mean, the episode was good. It was a good episode.
Episode was awesome, you know?
Yeah. UFC 316, Sugar Sean, Marab the Machine.
That one stung.
Yeah, it hurt.
But you know what did happen?
What happened?
I did make somebody some money if they listened to me and took it straight, which I don't know if I said take it straight, but Mario Batista money line. That was everybody's saying Patchy Mix didn't show up. No, it's the fact that he hasn't seen somebody like Mario Batista in front of him.
Yeah,
you saw the way he was gliding side to side. Patchy Mix looked stuck because he couldn't shoot on him.
I felt like in that one it was not as much of Mario Batista moving around as much as it was Patchy Mix not moving around. He looked like his feet were in cement the whole time.
And that's due to Mario Batista moving so much. Patchy Mixes used to be in control. He wasn't this time.
Yeah,
Who called it?
He looked off. But yeah, so last episode I had 7 plays. I'm not gonna say how many of them didn't hit, but
they all missed. The
number of plays that I did hit was 0. So I'm really coming back, with a vengeance. I do have, not that there are any excuses, Kyle. There are no excuses for a performance like that. That week, that was the 3rd episode of the week that I had sat down, recorded, and edited. So I think I did a little bit too much work and not enough studying. So this time it's going to be different, Kyle. It's going to be different. I have 4 plays, not 7. So I think that will, at least it won't go as bad as it did last time. So
exactly.
Anyways, International Fight Week, UFC 317 in Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. The main event, Kyle, is one we've been excited for since it was announced, with the whole moving around between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. We've got Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira in the main event for the vacated title that was left open by Islam as he moved up to welterweight. But before we get to that, I mean, just the whole main card, all 5 bouts, Kyle, I am excited about. I think this is very stacked in my opinion.
This is a good fight. I mean, it's International Fight Week, baby. Let's get it.
So with the main card, it is stacked. 10 o'clock Eastern time, Saturday night is when it will start. Peyton Talbot, Felipe Lima in a bantamweight bout, Kyle. And if you do remember UFC 311, we did see Peyton Talbot fight. He was a minus 1,200 favorite coming into the fight, 9-0, undefeated in his professional career, and fell in a unanimous decision to Hani Barcelos. So that was a very huge upset, a plus 700 win for Barcelos. Talbot does have a 4-inch height advantage, although it's only a 2.5-inch reach advantage. So how do you see this happening, Kyle? I mean, we saw Peyton Talbot struggle with the ground game against Barcelos, and Felipe Lima's kind of similar in that sense.
I think that these are just 2 hungry prospects. one thing I'm confused about, I don't know why this is on the main card. I guess just because the eye is drawn, everybody wants to see it, which I get, whatever, it's fun. But I mean, we just saw Barcelos beat Garbrandt, so I could see this one possibly. I don't think it necessarily showed anything about Peyton Talbot that Barcelos beat him. I think it obviously showed he's a little weak on the ground, whatnot. But that's what happens when you go against a vet like that that's been in there with scrappy guys. I think since this one is between two prospects, I think overall the better fighter all around is Felipe Lima. I think if Peyton Talbot does get it done, it'll be by KO or sub. I know I'm kind of dancing around giving you an answer. I think I'll just say Felipe Lima, but I could definitely see it getting done. Peyton Talbot, KO or sub. I don't think he beats him on the points, though.
Yeah, I kind of see that. Kyle, Lima is 14-1 in his professional career, has not lost a fight since August of 2015. He joined the UFC last June. It was June 22nd. So this will be, what is Saturday? Going to be the 27th. So just after his 1 year anniversary in the UFC, he submitted Muhammad Naimov and won a unanimous decision versus Miles Johns in December. I'm just kind of looking forward to this fight, seeing what's going to happen. I'll get to the picks later, but I do see maybe it goes to distance. But one that I'm definitely very excited for in this 3-round bantamweight bout. But right after that, we'll have Beneil Dariush, Renato Money Moicano in that lightweight division. This is one that, again, we saw UFC 311. It was Islam Makhachev versus Arman Sarukian, who ended up backing out the day before the fight. And so that sent, instead of the Beneil Dariush fight versus Renato Moicano, Money Moicano moved into that main event, and now they're scheduled to do it again. So how do you see this one happening?
I see, if I had to pick one or the other, I like Renato Moicano. I like his energy. I just see Beneil getting it done. That's another fight. These first two fights are so up in the air that I'm not even touching them on a betting sense. If I were to just say one guy or the other, I'm going to take Beneil. I like the odds in that one. He is the underdog, but he's still a minus 104.
Basically a toss-up, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up there, and I do see Beneil kind of getting this one done.
Yeah, I'm staying away from this one. Betting responsibly this weekend. Don't always do that, but I am going to do it Saturday night. But another one that I'm just excited to see what happens. I think that this is a pay-per-view event that really, really dictates the next how the divisions are going to move from here forward. I know every fight does that, but there just seem to be a lot of stacked matchups in this pay-per-view where you see the higher ranked guys basically trying to set themselves up for another match, maybe before a title fight or something. So but Beneil Dariush, Renato Moicano, I mean, I don't know. I may stick with you with Dariush in that one, but just really excited to see it. So another one that is kind of surprising matchup, because this wasn't in the works until Joshua Van basically he fought in UFC 316 in our last episode, and 3 weeks later now he's fighting again at UFC 317, which doesn't happen a lot, Kyle. But he's taking on Brandon Royval in a flyweight match. With this Joshua Van, just fighting 3 weeks ago, Kyle, at UFC 316, do you think some fatigue may play a factor in that one?
I think that Brandon Royval will show the young buck what a full 3 rounds looks like. Obviously, Joshua Van's seen it, but I think that he'll really get a taste of what that, this top of the division looks like. I think flyweight, this might be an argument for some people. I mean, but some people actually agree with it, because a lot of flyweights do go to the decision. but I think this is like the most fun division I've seen in a while, just because everybody's scrapping. I think this fight will be really good. I think it'll go the distance. I think that it'll just kind of be a master class on one side, and Josh Fan will get he'll get his few moments of fame and within the fight, but I don't think overall he'll get the decision.
Well, Kyle, this is maybe where we disagree. I just think from what I've seen with Van, I don't want to say unstoppable. I don't think anybody's unstoppable unless your name's Big Tom Aspinall. But Joshua Van is where I'm putting my money, minus 130 on the money line. I just like him in this matchup. I really do. I think he's got a lot to prove. And I think instead of there being a fatigue factor, I think he's one of those guys that's always in shape. You see that a lot with guys in UFC, obviously, unless your name is Paddy Pimblett. But even when he puts on weight, I'm not going to test that guy. But Joshua Van, minus 130 on the money line is where I'm going in this appetizer, I would say, before the co-main event that we see in UFC 317, Alexandre Pantoja, Kai Kara France for the Flyweight title. With this one, Kyle, Kara France, definitely maybe the better boxer. Alexandre Pantoja is kind of just a submission specialist in this one. How do you see this one happening?
So I guess MMA math here is that Pantoja had beat Brandon Royval twice. Brandon Royval beat Kai Kara France way back in the day. So MMA math should be Pantoja beats him. Does that always happen? I don't know. I like this fight. I like this matchup. I think that I told you earlier that I have expectations that this one's going to be fight of the night material. I truly think that they'll just give it their all. They're both the kind of guys to not give up. So I think this will be an interesting one. If you're asking me to pick one, I'm taking Pantoja. Got to. Yeah. I like Pantoja too much. I think if he was heavier, obviously he'd be pound for pound, top 2.
Yeah. I also like Pantoja in this. I'll get to my pick when we review our picks, but I'm with you on this one. But for the main event, we have Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira, Kyle. This is the one everybody's been excited about with the move by Islam Makhachev, who moved up to welterweight after Ilia Topuria moved into lightweight from the featherweight, as he was champion there. What do you think about Islam's move? We may have already mentioned this before in one of our other episodes, but now that we're here at this fight, it's played out. We all wanted to see Ilia versus Islam, but with the fan favorite Charles Oliveira stepping up, this is the next best thing, I guess you could say.
I think, one, to address your question about Islam, I like that he moved up. I mean, when you're of the status of you're kind of just cleaning out the division, then you have right to move up, especially while he's still in his prime, some would say, go ahead and move up, make that title shot. We saw the headlines, how he is kind of struggling to put on weight. So we don't know if that's going to be a factor. We don't need to touch that fight, I guess. We can touch that later. But
yeah.
Oh, God, dude, this one sucks. We know that I'm a huge Charles fan. I love Charles.
Big dude Bronx guy over here.
I will say, not that we're at our picks yet, but Charles by sub at plus 750 is criminal.
This is probably the only fight that's ever been the case.
That's probably worth a little sprinkle, but we'll get back to that later. Realistically, bro, okay. We know Ilia wanted that title fight with Islam. We know that. We know that he doesn't think he's running away from him or avoiding him like John was with Tom Aspinall. We think that he's respecting, okay, look, he wants to move up just like I want to move up. Like, I get it, So, that being said, sorry, I'm about to go on a rant here.
Go ahead, buddy.
That being said, Ilia is probably going to try to put Charles out in similar fashion that Islam did, I could see. So, I would say probably early rounds between the first and the third, KO or sub. I know people are like, he's not submitting Charles Oliveira. I mean, dude, we saw Islam do it with a Darce. I mean, we know that if we've seen Ilia's hooks, if Charles gets, chinned by one of those hooks and then falls to his guard. Wants to pull guard on you. Ilia's crazy, dude. He might jump in his guard, side mount, and then get that Darce choke. But we'll see how that plays out, of course.
Yeah. Like I said, Oliveira, the fan favorite. I really like Ilia Topuria as well. I'm very excited to see him fight live. As somebody who's a newer UFC fan, we've been doing these videos, like I said, since UFC 311. Topuria is one of those names that I have been waiting to see. I've gone back and watched a lot of his fights. The Max Holloway, the Volkanovski fight. He's so good. He's undefeated. And he's just one of those guys that it's hard to see losing. But then you look at Charles Oliveira. I mean, he's a legend. 30-something wins, 10 losses. He's got, I think, is over 20 submissions in his career. These are two of the best finishers, or at least finishing rate-wise, in UFC history.
I think we know one thing, and that's it's not going the distance.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. To see the over-under on the rounds set at 1.5, though, Kyle, is probably the most surprising thing. I'll take it back. Not surprising. That's not what I should say. But this is a fight that I want to see go all 5 rounds just for the entertainment value. But I can see why that the over-under is set at 1.5. But, man, this is just one of those where I'm going to sit back, put my feet up, grab the popcorn, and hope it goes over 1.5 rounds. That's my play.
Dude, I think I messed up. I said Darce. I think Islam hit Charles with the arm triangle choke. That's what I could see Ilia doing, just kind of falling to that side mount and getting that arm triangle choke. And kind of showing that, look, not only you can do that, but I can do that too. Because I know if I've learned anything about Ilia, it's he likes to talk his crap and he likes to prove that, oh, you think you're so good, I can do that too,
Yeah. So with this move up from 145 to 155 for Topuria, he's going to weigh in at 155, but the size, I think he's 5'8", Charles Oliveira is 5'10", 5'11". Do you think Topuria struggles at all in this new weight class, even if he does defeat Charles Oliveira Saturday?
I saw somewhere where I think it was Jorge Masvidal was talking about it. And he was saying, because he's been saying Topuria is going to be the next big thing for a long time. I think he said that he had his power, or he felt his power at 155, and he said he's going to have no problem getting into 155. That being said, I do think Charles is obviously a bigger frame, bigger guy. I wonder what he walks in the cage at. I know that Ilia will probably walk in, I'm assuming probably 170, 175.
Yeah. That's so crazy that they do that.
Yeah, that is nuts. But I'm assuming he's going to probably blow back up. I don't know if it's that much, but it's going to be somewhere around there probably.
At least 10, 15 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I've seen Charles like struggles with these weight cuts, so it just gets scary because, if you get dehydrated, the last place to rehydrate is your head, so could rattle Charles' brain, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
but I will always remember that Ilia did say, he said, I respect Charles a lot. This is after the whole Islam thing. He said, I respect Charles a lot. I'm going to make sure it's comfortable for him, meaning like I'm not going to just brutally knock him out. I wonder if that's kind of hinting at, I'm going to submit him.
Yeah, he also, I'm sure he was being sarcastic when he said this, but he wanted to know what Oliveira's favorite submission was, because that's how he would choose to end the fight. So for Topuria, but I
think he's just aura farming there, dude.
Yeah. Ilia Topuria, undefeated, like I said. I mean, heavy favorite in this match. Charles Oliveira, the legend, nobody can count him out. It'll be, hey, that's why we're here. The main event, UFC 317 at International Fight Week. So, Kyle, it's time to get to why everybody watches this show.
Hey, actually, let's start it off with something fun, dude. I've been dabbling.
You talking about that Allen Iverson play, bro?
Yeah. So
Go ahead and tell them.
You know me. I've been chat GPTing it up. And I was like, how do you see these fights going about? I put 3 fights on this parlay. And I'm going to place a parlay for fun. It's really crazy odds. So if you want to dabble and tail this, then do it. If you want to play some of these straight, I'll read the straight values too. So we have ChatGPT parlay. You ready for it? We got Ilia KO TKO rounds 2 or 3. That's plus 280. We have Pantoja by points. That's plus 210. And then we have Brandon Royval money line plus 102. And that totals out to be plus 2279, which is kind of crazy odds. And they could be leading us to something. I saw somewhere that Kamaru Usman's fight got called to the T by ChatGPT. So hopefully it just called this parlay to the T. We'll see.
Hey, I'll play.
I might play those straight too, because out of those 3, one of those have to hit, right?
Yeah, you. I mean, you would think. You would think. I mean, out of the 7 plays I had last episode, you think one would have hit, right?
They had to nerf us. They had to nerf us, dude. They have to nerf us.
Guess what? I was like, just on the off chance that all of these plays hit, why not put them in a parlay? Put a couple bucks on it. To see that parlay go 0 of 7 broke my heart, broke my spirit. Broke
Imagine
my pride.
round robin it.
Oh my god.
See that?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. So Kyle, enough of the AI.
Enough of the AI. We'll go with our personal picks now. Let's go.
Enough of the games with these people, man.
You got any sprinkles too, or you just got straight plays that's you're running down the pipe?
Like I said, man, I'm betting smart, betting responsibly, and I'm not going 0 of 7 this week. So one that I mentioned earlier, Peyton Talbot, Felipe Lima, goes the distance. Yes, distance, minus 150. Joshua Van, money line, minus 130. That's one that me and Kyle are not seeing eye to eye about. All right. Alexandre Pantoja, double chance by points or submission, minus 165. And yes, I'm laying these numbers this week. Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira over 1.5 rounds, minus 145. Those are my 4 plays for UFC 317 International Fight Week. Kyle, floor is yours.
All right, I'm going to tell you on that tailbot. Whoa. Whew. Let me get focused.
Go ahead.
Peyton Talbot fight and the Felipe Lima fight. Yes, distance minus 150. I like that one. I don't know if I'll play that straight, but I might throw that in a parlay or something if I just cook one up. The goal this week is just to play like a few straight and then play that ChatGPT parlay and just one parlay that I make. Just a few bucks on each one. See how we feel. Next one we got Benil Dariush money line minus 104. I like that one a lot. We got Brandon Royval money line plus 102. We got to show this guy Skip a lesson because he doesn't know who Brandon Royval is. Bro tried to say he's a upcoming prospect.
Kyle, I cut that out, by the way.
Well, you can keep this one in.
I already did it.
Well, Brandon Royval money line plus 102. Just to show Skylar a lesson. We got Pantoja by points. I also like the yes distance on that one, plus 104. I think I'm going to take that one instead. Pantoja and Kai Kara France, yes distance, plus 104.
I like it.
For the main event, we got Charles and Ilia. I don't like this one, bro. I don't like it at all. But
like I said, man, hey, nothing wrong with just betting on the over rounds and just hoping that it goes the distance.
Yeah, exactly. I think if anything, I might sprinkle on this one just because I feel wrong betting on Ilia. Yeah. Besides the ChatGPT play, I feel wrong. So I'm going to say Charles by sub plus 750. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on that one. And also, I have a few outside of the main card that I had written down that I think could be of value. So these I feel more confident than ever. We got Terrence McKinney fight, round 2. His opponent's name is impossible to say in my eyes, so whatever. Terrence McKinney's fight, round 2. I'm sure there's a way. But Terrence McKinney fight, round 2 to start, plus 104. I like that one a lot. Jose Delgado by KO or points, plus 115. Love that one. And then we see the largest favorite we've ever seen in the UFC betting scene with Jacoby Smith fighting Nico Price. I have that one to start round 2, plus 116. Those are 3 bets that, I kind of go from really confident, kind of confident to confident, but not the most confident on the last one. But I like that. Round 2 to start on Terrence McKinney's fight and Jose Delgado by KO or points, plus 115. I like Delgado a lot. He trains out of Arizona, so you're not got to show a little favoritism.
Yeah. Because you're from Arizona, right?
Yeah, because I'm from Arizona, dude. You know that?
Yeah. So Kyle, now that we've got the play, no parlays that you wanna mention, nothing like that.
I think I'm good on it.
All right.
I think I'm good on it. I'm not doing no parlays anymore. We're doing straight plays only.
So Kyle, I got 2 questions for you. All right.
Hit me.
Hear me out. 1. At the end of it all, what do you think will be fight of the night? And 2, at the end of UFC 317, what is the biggest storyline coming out of it? What is your guess?
All right. Fight of the night, I'm going to go ahead and say Pantoja and Kai Kara France. I know that one's going to be a banger. That one's lined up to be a banger. Storylines, it's going to have to be one of the, top 5. It's going to have to be somebody in the main card. I'm going to have to say if Ilia does submit him, it's going to be is Ilia as dangerous as he says he is? Obviously everybody knows he is, but he's like Ilia moving up a weight class. He obviously is here to stay. Look what he did. Boom.
Yeah.
But that being said, will he fight Arman? That's the next question. Arman is supposed to fight Dan Hooker. I just saw it got announced recently. Not officially, but through one of these pages got announced. And most of the time they're correct. So that being said, I think the storyline will be like, is he ready for Arman? Or, wow, look at him. He submitted him. Those are the 2 answers I'm giving you. What about you?
Yeah, I think as far as the fight of the night, I mean, I could say I agree with you in the co-main event with Pantoja and Kara France. But I'm going to put my money where the mouth is, or where my mouth is.
Whoa.
Joshua Van Brandon Royval will be the fight of the night, as well as the storyline will come from the fly. That's not Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira. That's the biggest storyline. The flyweight, Joshua Van will move up the ranks one more fight before his title shot.
I think he'll have to, if he does win and he pulls it off, that could be the storyline. I also think that he will have to take, obviously, another fight. A fight that a lot of people want to see if Ilia wins is Paddy Pimblett. So I wonder if that one will happen.
All right. Well, Kyle, is there anything else you'd like to mention?
I think that's it for me. I think I got all my choices said on this podcast.
All right. Well, that'll do it. UFC 317 Breakdown International Fight Week. My advice to you would be fade everything that I will say, hold on. I did redeem myself a little bit last week, okay? All right, I'm tired of this talk about me that I'm talking about. I went 0-7, UFC 316. The fight night last week, Khalil Roundtree and, names. Yeah, Jamal Hill. I went 3 of 4, all right? All right, on a fight night, I went 3 of 4. So I'm going to swing while the bats are hot. And I'm going to try to go 3 of 4 again. Or better, maybe 4 of 4.
I know out of one of the plays I said, I have one banger. At least.
At least, yeah.
At least we got one going.
Alrighty, guys.
We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Morale's low over here, man.
Morale's low, but it's only up from here, Kyle. Come on. Cheer up, buddy.
Only up from here.
That'll do it. UFC 317 Breakdown International Fight Week. Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira main events. And as always, we'll see you next time.